All right, we are back, and this is Crossfire with dapo and ishioma. We have Mr. Duke in the house, and we've been discussing about government and governance, and we have been talking particularly about the rubbles and the changes and a lot of unsitting and sitting that has taken place, at the NNPC. Now, I need to ask you this question. The president has taken a position to sit on top of the affairs at the NNPC for the next 18 months. Now, will it mean that the president will still take this position when eventually in September he names a petroleum minister? Will he at the same time, because information have it that he probably will come up with another position like the Minister of State, for petroleum and all of that. Will this appointment still be made while the president, presides over the affairs at the NNPC for the next 18 months?
Absolutely. I believe it's the president. I believe Obasanjo at one point also headed the ministry himself. Yeah. Again, Buhari's policies will only work and be successful if he's able to rein in the waste. There's no other way to work, because you need money to make policies work. And this is why he wants to maintain control. I believe he will appoint junior ministers within the ministry, but he is still going to be the man in charge. I believe that the GMD will be reporting directly to him for the next 18 months. And believe me, if during that period he sees any need to extend that tenure, I believe he will do that. So, to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if Buhari maintains that ministry throughout his 4 years term.
Okay, let's quickly move on here. Let's drop the issue of NNPC. We'll bring in more information, as it were, since we have a lot of other areas. Let's talk about electricity. Let's talk about that particular sector of the Nigerian economy. Mm-hmm. This sector has crippled even the faintest of all ideas in the minds of Nigerians. Yes, we have been exploited. We have been extorted. We have suffered in the hands of people that have probably been put, in this particular ministry to ensure that we have a stable flow or supply, rather, of electricity in Nigeria. But yet, even though a few years ago, during the past government, everything seems to look up when we brought in a bit of private, sector participation by bringing in the discos. But we have come to realize that the discos are exploiting us. They bring us bills for electricity that was never supplied. Bills. We have estimated bills and all of that. And yesterday, the Senate came out very strong that every monies that have been spent on electricity in Nigeria all the way back since 1999 must be probed. So, former President Olusegun Obasanjo is on the beam light, and immediate past President of Nigeria, Jonathan Goodluck, is on the beam light. And so we really want to that. The regulatory body, that is NEC, has not probably helped Nigerians. You see, because we still pay service charge for electricity that is not used. They bring in crazy bills because it is not based on consumption.
Well,
now, do you know the angle that I'm looking at it?
Yes, I
How come up till now, Nigerians do not have access to prepaid meters? Something that can measure my consumption and will determine how much that I pay for it. That is very, disturbing.
Well, absolutely, it is disturbing, but let's get this in the real light of what is happening. That is to say that it is still early days for us to come down that heavily on the discos and the gencos. Okay. The reality of the matter is that whenever the state in any economy, in any country, it doesn't matter whether an OECD country or a developing economy or an emerging economy, if the state is responsible for any infrastructure or for any utility, if you like, be it water, electricity, gas, or whatever, there's always a certain level of laxity. Which is why when Margaret Thatcher came into power in the UK, the first thing she did was privatize the utilities. It's always the way forward. And the simple reason is this. Look at your telephone system in Nigeria today. 15, 20 years ago, I know that I used to go to NITEL
to pay my bills.
To actually make a phone call. I would go to NITEL and queue up and spend the equivalent of 300 naira a minute to make a phone call to the UK. I used to do that all the time. And in some cases, I used to even fly all the way. When the night tool was not working in Enugu where I was living, I would fly out of Enugu into Lagos in order to make one phone call. So one phone call could cost me over 100,000 naira. And that was 20 years ago in this country. Since the privatization of the telecoms industry, we have seen a continuous development of the industry to the point where people now have 2 or 3 telephone lines that they can use whenever they want.
But still, a lot of Nigerians were told that they are still being exploited, despite the fact that it's in the hands of private investors.
Compared to where we're coming from, I think it's I mean, it's very fair.
We should get it right.
No, absolutely.
And the competition is very huge.
It's huge, still, but then when you have a rip-off, I mean,
no, you don't have a rip-off. I mean, the key thing here is corruption is part and parcel of it, most of it, which is why the fight against corruption is absolutely vital. When you talk about the industry, the electricity industry, and the prepaid meters and the estimated bills, I've personally had to fight that twice. Once in my house and once in my office. And in both cases, I won. I got a meter, I refused to pay the estimated bill, and there was nothing they could do because I put up a cogent argument against paying. But unfortunately, not everybody has the time or the ability to do that. So it is important for the regulatory authorities, i.e. NEC, to fight that fight for us. The reasons why the discos are continuing to give you estimated bills and refusing whenever they can to give you meters is the truth being that if everybody in this country was in a meter tomorrow, the industry would collapse within two months. For the simple reason that they would not pick up enough money to run the system. Why? Because they are inefficient.
So does that give them the leeway? Does that give them the leeway to continue to exploit Nigerians?
That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that it is therefore important that if you recognize this problem, then you seek a solution in tandem with it. So for me, what I would say is that the industry does not have sufficient funds to actually bring the changes that you're looking for as quickly as you want it.
So what is it? Okay, the privatization done. Hold on. Bringing in the privatization done in that particular sector. Now, how has it benefited us? Let me give you an example. What happened at the telecoms? You expect the telephone companies to bring in enough fund to be able. Don't forget that many of them build their infrastructure. They built their infrastructure because there was no infrastructure for many of them when they came in. Nitel already collapsed and died before the advent of GSM into Nigeria.
Yeah, but that is the key thing, Dapo, because it is the privatization process is where the fault lies. I know, I'm not going to mention names on television here, but I do know people who got franchises to distribute electricity who have absolutely no connection with the industry previous to that. With the telephone system, it was different because the main and the most important member of that team that came in to do this was MTN. And MTN was already running a very successful operation in Africa around the continent. So they had the experience and they could call on resources from the parent company to implement their budgets in Nigeria. But what we have here today is people running the various discos who have very little money to put in, have technical partners that have very little experience in the industry.
So it means it is faulty in the first place. Okay, and Nigerians are the ones suffering from this.
But that is why there's NEC. That's why we have the regulatory authority.
I can't see anything NEC has done. What has NEC done?
Based on what you said now, based on what you said, if I understood what you said clearly, that if every home or office in Nigeria, they have their meters, and it tells you exactly how much electricity you've consumed and how much you should pay, that the system will collapse. So what makes you think that when these private individuals come in, they may not also exploit Nigerians to be able to get enough money to run it?
No, well, they can't. That's the whole point, because NEC is a regulatory body. The price of electricity for you and me is fixed, and in fact it's fixed forward. It's not even fixed for 1 year. It's fixed for 5 years or 6 years in advance. They cannot be changed. And as at yesterday, as you're talking about fixed charges, the government has ordered, I think the Senate government to remove the fixed charges. Absolutely. So NEC is actually working on it. The key element is this: we need money in the industry. If the government is strong enough, and I believe that Buhari's government should be in a position to do that, they will force these organizations to divest their shares. They must sell shares to our people, to the people.
Okay, so let me inject an idea. Now, I am also aware, I've been around, and I'm also aware that government do some form of intervention in some of these sectors to ensure a very smooth run. It has been done for the banking industry. It was done for the for a period of time for agriculture in Nigeria. And when it comes to energy, I think it is very paramount, and government should prioritize and do something. We can't see the dividends. Nigerians are not enjoying the dividends, even if there have been any intervention.
There have been loads and loads
we have a call, please.
Let's take this call from Alex. Alex, good morning.
Hello, good morning, dapo.
Good to have you on the show.
Good morning.
And good morning, Computer. I greet you.
Thank you very much.
There is no doubt Daniel is already sitting in George desk in the person of Muhammad Buhari concerning the affairs of Nigeria. Economically, socially, religiously, and name it. So we believe everything GMD has done. It was warning. It looks to me like given a kind of foundation. I see him performing because after foundation, normally you jack and build up. So if we are discussing issues related to why, for instance, you see, what is estimated gain? If all the schools and the GENCO, they are not ready to do business, why applying to handle this aspect of our national life? So that's the best I can see. In the heart of the whole matter is corruption. The first NPA one I ever used, I bought for 9,000 naira. Only can be trying to call crisis to 100 naira. This is because I manage a communication firm too. So, Nigeria, we have this tradition of getting corrupt, siphon and waste of money, put them without doing what we ought to have been doing. If not, I actually put a call across to the Abuduku and challenge them. If you don't know how to get a back prepared meter, give the contract to me. I have connection to solve for them, and then look at the whole of FCT. So, at the heart of the matter is corruption.
Sure.
So, General Buhari drive in corruption is the right step in the right direction. You see, the data say no one has a name. You get in there, that is not death elsewhere. But though that did not present death keep coming. So what I'm saying is this: corruption, if we cannot put an extinguish it, should stop somewhere, and then here is sitting down there. Whoever that he has to post, he should go ahead to post them. Even if it means going back to this from ambassador to death, he should go ahead.
Yeah,
because the main cancer we have today in Nigeria is corruption.
That's right.
It should be fought to a thing.
Thank you so much.
It's unexplainable that look, come on, prepared meters.
Alright, Alex.
Because they don't know how to solve for them.
Thank you.
That is my take this morning.
Thank you so much. Got to your point, please.
All right, thank you so very much, Alex. I think we have another call coming in. Maybe we should take that before we move on.
Yeah.
Usman, good morning. All right, we lost that call. I quickly need to say here that it's a beautiful Friday for all the people who are watching us out there. I have 4 meal tickets, 1, 2, 3, 4 meal tickets, that I want callers from Lagos, because of collection. We're looking forward to a more, organized plan to extend it to the region. But callers from Lagos, I have 4 meal tickets in our daughter company, Chocolat Royal. Now, you can come to Chocolat Royal and enjoy a very decent meal. All you need to do, pick up your phone and call in the show and make your own contribution. Lagos callers will be considered for this particular set of tickets. I have 4 of them, and I'm ready to give them out to 4 Lagos callers today. Now, let's quickly go back to the case of electricity.
Okay.
The discos are making money falsely, extorting money falsely from Nigeria, gathering it to do business and then supply us again. Because that's what we've been doing. We've been paying them for services that have not been rendered to us. And let me tell you something that has been happening. I keep asking myself this question: why do I still pay electricity bill? I know the problems. I know they bring to me what I have not used, but I keep paying. But I've realized that even if they supply you for 1 day,
they will bill you for 1 month.
I'm even saying that Nigerians seems to be happy to even have it.
Okay.
Because it makes you save a sizable amount of diesel or petrol
for that one day. Absolutely. A senator said he spends as you talk, apparently in Borno State, they haven't, Maiduguri is completely off the national grid completely. So if you live in Maiduguri, you are spending, if you're a diesel generator user, $10,000 naira a day. If you're using petrol, maybe 1,000 naira a day. So the truth of the matter is simple. If NEC does their job properly, what they should be looking at is ways to ensure that there's parity in the industry. My belief is this. At the moment, you have to pay for a meter if you want one.
Yes.
They've also said you shouldn't pay for it. I have no issue with that. If the discos don't have the funds to do this, the government should force them to sell shares to the public, to raise the money by force. That is to say, by fiat. Every one of us spends money every day to generate power. If we pull that money together as a nation and put that into generating power at a central level, we'll get the problem solved. It's about collectivity. And in this respect, the responsibility is with the government, not with the operators. The operators are businesses. They will always try to maximize profit. That's what businesses do. Exactly. It doesn't matter what you do. That is their central objective. It is the regulatory bodies that are responsible to make sure that that need to make a profit is balanced with the need to provide a service. They are not doing that at the moment. But I do believe that they will, because as we say, we are going through a revolution. As you know, Shoyinka put it, we are seeing a man who is a born-again phenomenon. I wasn't one of those that supported Buhari's thing to start. I don't mind saying it on air. I didn't support him because I didn't believe that he was capable of doing the job. But from what I've seen so far, there's no doubt in my mind that he has a will. No, he has a will. The will is there, and that is the most important thing. And as long as he's got the right people in place, the job will get done. Let's give him a chance. You're looking to see changes in the system. You're looking to see changes in power supply. Well, he's been in power for 70 days, as you say.
And the electricity has increased.
Well, it has improved.
It has improved
tremendously. Improved.
But the key thing again is, you have to ask yourself, where is the problem? Where does the problem lie in the industry? Number one, generation is the key element. Yeah. If you don't generate enough, you cannot supply. I engage the executives of the industry, myself personally. If I have a problem, I pick up the phone, I call the business manager in Ikoyi. I call him outright directly, Engineer Lawyer, that's his name. I'll call him and say, Engineer Lawyer, what is happening with my life? And he has an obligation to explain to me what is happening. At one point he said to me, look, I've got 3 turbines that should supply power from a wind into Lagos. Only one is working. Now, with only one turbine working, is it a surprise that I only get power for 2 hours in a week? It's not a surprise. The minute the other 2 turbines came into place, the improvement became obvious. Yes. So the key thing is generation. We have to generate. Then you look at generation and you ask yourself, what is causing the problem with generation? And you have 2 issues. Number one, dilapidated infrastructure. Number 2, sabotage by Nigerians.
And probably lack of maintenance of the infrastructure.
And part of it. And gas supply, issues.
No, but come on. If it's the issue of gas supply, I mean, look at advanced nations in Europe. They're now focusing on using clean sources of energy generation. Now you see them using water and you see them using wind, which we have this in abundance.
And we still have solar. And Nigeria is blessed with sun.
So when you use all of this, there won't be the issue of sabotage. Must everything be gas?
No.
Okay. When we have wind, solar.
Ishoma, you're absolutely right. But if you're going to go in that direction, then you have to think in terms of the money to fund it. It's not those things about politicians saying, I'm going to do that for you, I'm going to do that for you, but they never tell you where they're going to get the money from.
All right, we have Duke Puta in the house, and we've been discussing about government and governance in Nigeria, and we've been looking at the issue and the changes taking place at the NNPC, and we've been talking about electricity generation, supply, and distribution, estimated bills and crazy bills, as it were, in quotes, that they give to Nigerians to pay, and they never supplied us even with our prepaid meters, and we keep wondering why this is happening. Let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll be approaching the last lap of the show, and we'll still be talking about Nigeria. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and it's Crossfire with Dapo and Ishioma, and we've been talking about the state of the nation. We've talked about the NNPC, we've talked about electricity, and this is really very important. And I think we should end on, still talking about this. Nigerians are really, really aggrieved. about what is going on in this sector. Now, we are not supported, and yet we pay, very exorbitant prices for a service that you have not rendered. And that's why I'm beginning to wonder why we are not fighting the system. Why are Nigerians not fighting the system? You had an opportunity. Not everybody will have the willpower, and the time, the energy, and the structure, that will make people will listen to you. You are a public figure. Now, if you have someone, who is just managing his life in one corner, living in Lagos or living anywhere across the nation,
concerned about how
where
to feed his family.
the poor people in our society go to champion their cause?
Well, the key thing here is, as we're talking off air, part of the problem is the fact that a large number of Nigerians don't pay electricity bills. The industry themselves don't know who actually is in their books. So if you ask Eco Electricity now to give you a list of people who actually consume electricity in this country, they will not, in their own area, can't be able to tell you that. So,
but they know, but they find a way around ensuring that every house in Lagos or anywhere receives their bills.
And here's the formula that they use, and this is the interesting bit. If they supply 1 billion naira worth of power in 1 month, they have 300 million people, or 300 million naira worth of billable people that they know they can bill. They bill them. The rest of the 700 million is shared among the rest, irrespective of what they've taken or not.
So they'll just take a sample.
Are you with me?
They'll just go into history and see. They'll just go into history and look at me. This guy pays regularly.
No, it's not that. It's not that. There's a hub. We've given 50,000 naira worth of power to this hub. So we've got to get 50,000 naira from them. You see, in a way, they are correct because they've actually disbursed the power. But if in that 50,000, 40,000 naira of that was consumed by people you cannot identify, people that have used illegal connections and that kind of stuff to get power into the house, you cannot bill them. So you have no choice than to share the 40,000 naira that they allocated to them among the people that actually only took 10,000. So they end up paying 50,000 for consuming only 10,000 naira worth, paying for the 40,000 naira that haven't paid.
That is a ripoff. That is fraud.
That is happening.
That is corruption.
So the first,
this shows the laxity.
No, the laxity. The first thing that
in the system.
The first thing that NEC should have done is ensure that a proper audit of consumption is done in the whole country. In the first, we tried to get them to do that because a consultant that came to me at one point and they wouldn't do it. The answer is we don't have money to conduct an audit. So another example,
they don't have
the northern part of the country, apparently, and if I'm wrong, please somebody phone in because you're from out there. Apparently, most people there don't pay. I know too that in my own village, where I come from, my own village in Anambra State, right in that small village, I don't think anyone pays bill. So when they bring the bill as a totality. And what happens is that one or two of us pick it up. So part of the things that the government can also do is a little bit of social engineering. We cannot deprive the people of, Adamawa State in the villages and all that power simply because there's no organization or structure for them to pay bill. What the government can do is the subsidies that should support social structures in the country. Some of these can go towards these areas where there are difficulties in getting it right in a formal economic way, whilst at the same time putting in place structures that try to remove that anomaly in the long run. But it's not something that you can do instantly and go bang, bang, bang. If you are you with me?
Yes. So now, because of time, we'll be rounding up soon. I just want to take you on this. Where do you see Nigeria in 4 years' time?
Well, I see Nigeria in 4 years' time with an economy that is at least 20% or 25% bigger than what it is today. The one thing that you've got to bear in mind is that a recent study at the UN suggested that Nigeria will be the third largest population-wise country in the world by the year 2050, which is that 5 years away. It's a very, very short time. At that time, you guys will be about the same age as I am now. So in 5 years' time. So ultimately, at the same time, we'll also be the 9th largest economy.
Okay.
But bear in mind that these studies have been done taking into account the level of corruption and the level of government inactivity in the country. So in other words, Nigeria is being powered by Nigerians. You see, Nigeria as a government, as a nation, is poor. Nigerians as individuals are rich. And they're two different things altogether. But as individuals, being rich doesn't help us because there's no collective effort. We need collective effort.
To think.
Absolutely. To make these things work together. It has to be done centrally. The industry we're talking about, the power industry, estimates of amounts of money spent individually to generate power in Nigeria far exceeds what is necessary to create the necessary investment to make it work. So you can see that it's not a question of we don't have the ability to do it on money. We just haven't
because when they are not supplying us, we still go out of our way to buy diesel,
we buy
petrol,
buy generators,
and we power our houses.
And we buy generators, and we maintain
our businesses.
And we maintain generators too.
Exactly.
And people talk about sabotage as well. The generator importers, the diesel importers, are the ones that are paying the vagabonds to go and bomb and destroy oil.
All right, let's quickly take this call from Daniel. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Dapo.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Good morning, Auntie Choma.
Good morning.
Now, before you make your point, Daniel, you just won a meal ticket in Chocolat Royale. Are you excited about that?
Yes, sir. I'm feeling right now. Thank you, sir.
All right, let's take your. We'll definitely get back to you. From after the show, you may need to call us back and drop your name and your number so that we get across to you with the details of how you can redeem what you have won. Okay, but let's quickly take your contribution.
Okay. Now, see, the power sector, right from Jonathan's era, even Obasanjo's era, they know where the problem is. And like our guest said, that they extort money from us, right? And not that because they want money to make their
targets
go to make progress. They have the money, and federal government has to supply them with more money to fund their business. It's not extorting money from which the individual suffering.
Exactly. All right, we got your point, Daniel. Thanks for your contribution. Now, your last word. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari's body language is pointing to the fact that we're going to have a very beautiful time if everything that he has in his mind or he has in his coffers to do across all the sectors of the economy is well implemented with great guys that he probably will name in September. We're looking forward to a very wonderful time, as Nigerians and as a country. And maybe that will put us back, where we belong, and that is competing favorably with other economics, in the world and all of that. Last from you is to quickly. All right, Daniel. Good morning,
David.
Yeah, David.
Good morning.
Yeah, David. Yeah.
Good morning, David. David.
Good morning. Yeah.
You just won a meal ticket in Chocolat Royale.
Oh, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, don't worry, David. Just call us back immediately after the show and redeem. There won't be any necessary for you to make any contribution as
your
it were.
Name and number with us.
All right, thanks to everyone who have been a part of our show. Thanks to Duke Oputa. It was nice having you on CROSSFIRE.
Thank you.
And this is how far we can go on the show today. We'll be back on Monday with very interesting, package as usual. Do join us and stay out of trouble.
Say no to God.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.